Hello, everyone. Welcome to my podcast, Judy Howard is Making It Happen. Are you looking for answers in all the wrong places? Do you remember a time when it seemed like everyone was happy? We only worried about how many potholes we'd encounter on the way to work, or if there was a Starbucks on the way home from work. And once at home, our biggest concern was whether our favorite TV series was going to be canceled or not. Of course, serious issues went on, even though we looked the other way. The high death rate in our inner cities was a conversation not for the dinner parties, nor was there any mention of concern that our children, who were being abandoned to foster care because of the increased drug and alcohol addictions, also off limits, certainly not on Main Street news, was the fact that in the U.S. alone, people, including children, are being sold in quantities second only to drugs. The profits from human trafficking soar over $32 billion a year. All these issues have grown silently at unprecedented rates, like an untreated tumor, while we eat popcorn on our couch at home and watch the latest horror and fantasy movies. And then, as if a great flood came upon us, the world shifted. Suddenly, we no longer cared about the number of potholes in the street on the way home, or whether our favorite TV series was going to be canceled. All that took a back seat because the entire world had slammed on its brakes. Overnight, we seemed to be trapped. We became a population unable to look away from the serious issues happening around us. Suddenly, it seemed like everything was wrong. We began wishing and hoping, and we waited for someone or something or Jesus to make us better, to save us, to save our country, and to save the world. Our discontent turned into fear. Either people cared too much or they didn't care enough. And in no time, the entire world became a frightening place to live. We began blaming and hating one another. Today, 36% of us report we are persistently lonely. Our teenagers are killing themselves at an alarming rate. I can feel comfortable in saying that each and every one of you have either lost a loved one in your own family to suicide, or you have a friend or an acquaintance who has lost someone to this devastating epidemic of suicide. And what about those teens who have not followed the same deadly path as their peers? 72% of the teenagers today report they feel hopeless and despondent. 30% of us do not trust our neighbors. And 72% of us, the young people, think people are out to get them. For every person who joins a church, 3 drop out. And do you know what is even worse? Add this statistic to the mix. Sad people become hopeless and mean. Sad, lonely, mean people are 7 times more likely to join a political party. We have become a nation of blamers and haters. And it is often said there are two kinds of pandemics: the kind that kills people and the kind that kills character. And a person without character will never find his way. We are still the wealthiest country in the world, and yet we are now the most unhappy and the most unethical. 5 years have passed since that shift began. The proverbial floodwaters are receding, and we are asking ourselves who or what is going to fix what is wrong with the world. Could we be like the raindrop who does not want to take responsibility for the flood? Or maybe we are like the urban cowboy in Johnny Lee's country western song, looking for love in all the wrong places. Are we looking for answers in all the wrong places? Maybe we should try something new. If we are what we think about, maybe we should start thinking about what we are thinking about. We have been focusing on what we are lacking, what we think is wrong, what we don't have. We can only see darkness and hopelessness. Do we think that focusing on gloom and doom proves that we are just caring and altruistic? No, it does not. It only demonstrates that the opposite is happening. We come off as weak, hopeless, and a loser. Because we are social human beings, we do not like losers. No siree. We are unconsciously aware that each of us, in order to survive, we must all survive. Losers are weak links and a threat to the group's survival. Science has proved we like winners, confident, thriving winners. How we perceive ourselves, as whether it's as losers or winners, affects the levels of our serotonin in our bodies. Lower levels of serotonin weakens the communication between the parts of our brain, and it makes us difficult to control emotional responses to anger. So I suggest, why don't we tackle this problem from a brand new angle? Did you know that the greatest pleasantries in life are those kindnesses that come unexpectedly and freely and unconditionally? Did you know that? What could you offer the world today, or your neighbor, or a stranger, with no expectation of return? What is one thing that people told you you were good at, that you could do, that perhaps someone else cannot because maybe of lack of strength, or perhaps they don't have the skill? Can you bake a cookie that is to die for? Or your spaghetti, is it as great as your great grandmother's? Do you have gardening skills? A green thumb? In my little town, there are a couple high school boys who donate their time to our local library and help others, mostly elderlies, with their phone and computer issues. And when I moved into my small little community where I live now, several retired neighbors made it their habit to to check on me regularly because I live alone. And they would ask me, "Do you need anything? Is there anything I can do for you?" One neighbor has made it a habit of dealing with the enormous amount of leaves that rain down from the trees and blanket my walkways and the porch. He comes around with his blower, keeping my place neat and tidy. I had to give up offering him money because he just refused it. I finally had to come to the realization that the act of doing a kindness for another made him feel good. And like it was a contagion, his caring warms my soul. He and his wife and I have all become good friends since I moved here. When I was new to Oregon, a city girl, the maintenance man here in the neighborhood where I live, chopped up several chunks of wood from my woodpile for kindling after I had asked him how to build a fire in a wood stove. And then a month later, to my surprise, in the drizzling rain, I hear someone out at my woodshed chopping more kindling. He'd explained he figured I might be running low. And without asking, just showing up, he chopped up some more kindling for me. We are all good at something. And here's the big secret. First of all, kindness is contagious. How can I not want to be charitable too when these people keep doing things for me? I am baking a lot of my grandmother's to die for raisin nut strudel these days, I'll tell you that. Because that's what I am good at. We all have a tendency to say, "I don't have the time," or "I don't think I have anything to offer that anybody would matter to anyone else. I'll just give money." I want to stress this right now. Money is not the answer to our problems, and it does nothing of value. To finalize my point, I want you to meet Samantha, a friend of mine. I won't go into the tragedies she has had to face in her life. But when I first met her, I don't know anyone who would have wanted to change places with her. She was struggling with a lot of darkness. But Samantha knew how to sew. She will tell you how when she was little, she used to watch her mother sew. Her mother would make beautiful little dresses for others and her sisters, but never for her. So Samantha watched and studied and learned. Today, Samantha makes delightfully fun fabric hearts. Everywhere she goes, she carries a little basket full of colorful hearts, fabric hearts and gives them away. Now, I know the population does not spend their waking hours saying to themselves, "If only I had a little whimsical heart made of fabric, my day would be better." But I have observed what happens when Samantha hands someone standing in line or whom she passes at the beach or the park. I have observed when she asks them, "Would you like a heart?" At first, people hesitate because I know what I used to think. What's her angle? What does she want from me? But Samantha simply reassures them, saying, "It's okay, it's free." And then she practically shoves it in the pretty little thing at the person. "I just like to give hearts away," she says. "That's what I do. And if you don't want it, take it anyway and give it to someone else." She makes it nearly impossible to refuse these little fabric hearts. As they hold it, a smile spreads across their face, the kind of smile we don't see very often. It is filled with delight, and they are transformed. They remind me of a 3-year-old who's just been given a sucker. It is magical. And I will bet my hat that each recipient goes home, shares their experience with a friend or a loved one. Like air and sunshine, we need each other. We have been sold the misconception that if we make enough money and work hard enough to buy a beautiful home and a nice car, and all our ducks are lined in a row, we don't have to care about each other. If we continue on this path, it will be the end of humanity. So what if we focused on that one thing we could do for a stranger? It is a given that when you do this, the recipient is pleasantly affected. But the big payoff is not just that you both feel good. There is an unexpected bonus. I guarantee you will see the world as a kinder place. One unexpected act like these I just described, would one of these unexpected acts like I described quiet all the distracting and depressive noises that sound like a big bad wolf knocking at your door? Would it all stop? Not only will the noise stop, but it will be replaced by beautiful music resounding from a kinder world that you helped create. One filled with trust, opportunity, and love. So be the raindrop responsible for a great flood, a flood, one of charitable, hyper hospitality. Thank you for listening and have a great week. This is Judy Howard, and I'm making it happen.